Hi, it's Carol, the Crafty Whippet, and welcome to Flosstube number 5. Pretty short here today because it's a short week. Thanksgiving's kind of putting a cramp in my style. Not that badly, but my kids aren't going to be home more, and shopping, food preparation, all of that, I'm sure others can understand. Anyway, I first want to give a shout out to Sandy Bakos. I think I said that correctly, and if I didn't, I am so sorry, Sandy. I wanted to say thank you so much for the kind shout out you did 2 videos ago. So I'm going to start here not with cross stitch. I'm going to start with a little bit of knitting. I don't necessarily want to be like crossing crafts within videos, but I don't knit a lot. I knit kind of one project a year. Last year's project was the sweater. This year's project is the cowl. So I figure I'll just kind of, because I've been spending a fair amount of time on this, I figured I would share it. I mean, why not? So this is the, oh, I don't know if you can see the texture in this very well, but this is the Conifer Cowl from Carrie Bostic Hodge. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. I'm really bad with people's names. Her Swoon Mane collection, and it's just pretty much a scarf finished off with a, I don't remember how I connect it. That'll be a good question. When I get to the end of the pattern, I'll know. But it's just basically connected like so, but twice the length. I'm only halfway done. And I am doing this in a purple heathered Plymouth Encore, 75% acrylic, 25% wool. Won't be the warmest, and I'm really hoping that with the relative, this is a garter rib knit. I don't know, see, I don't need to spend enough time knitting to be very good at knowing off the bat all the patterns that you see out there, but anyway, it is wonderfully thick. I'm doing it 1 needle size down, so it's creating a nice, thick, comfy fabric, and this one's for my daughter too. So the 3 projects I'm sharing today, 2 are not for me. I am not that kind of selfless person, so I don't know why my daughter is getting the benefits of all my crafting time right now. But she has a pink scarf that has gotten kind of small and ratty, and I figured it was time to get her something new, and purple is one of her favorite colors. She keeps looking at it while I'm knitting it, and I'm like, do you want it? And she's like, I don't know. But then she's kind of giving me the, but Mom, I want you to give it to me anyway. So I'm gonna do it. Something of this size takes me about a week to do. I've started this 3 days ago, something like that. And the best part is this is totally from Stash. I did not buy any new yarn for it. I had picked up the Plymouth Encore from a going out of business sale at a local yarn shop 5 years ago, and it's been aging for 5 years. That's not a positive thing. So let's get to the cross stitch. I like that one better. The first whip I'm going to share this week is Summertime Coverlet. It's the heartstring samplery piece I've been working on pretty much for the last month and a half, and this is where we were last week, and here we are this week. 4 of the flowers done out of 16. Okay, not quite done. Close enough though. So something I did differently this week is I have my project's clothespin to foam board. This is not a piece that I will be using for any framing purposes. It's just I have a lifetime supply of foam board hanging around my house now. And this seemed like a really good way to have it visible. The downside, the clothespins, I feel like I'm going to hit myself in the head with them. That's kind of not cool. I'm going to have to maybe use binder clips or something differently. But as far as the foam board goes, if you want a lot for cheap, Jerry's Artorama, I got 25 sheets of 32 by 40 foam board, free shipping, and it was less than $90, which is better than getting like this size, and this is, right now I have it cut at 16 by 24, but something of this size, which if I went to Michael's last time, I paid $4 for a sheet like this. This is a quarter of the piece that I've been working with. Oh, and before I forget, so this part right here said it's a quarter of the upper 2/3. So I guess I'm a sixth of the way through the project, thereabouts. Anyway, what I had tried to do with this one is middle is right like here. And normally I go for the interesting part of patterns. In this case, all the fun stuff is down here. And that's what I want to stitch. So I'm forcing myself to do the parts that, this is really pretty. I love it, but I'm getting bored already because I have the attention span of nothing. And a really great tip I had read years ago, and this came from garment sewing, is do the parts that you don't want to do first and leave the fun stuff for last. So, for example, if you're making a lined dress, do the lining first, then make the dress. So if you do it the other direction, the lining is never as fun as the fabric that you've picked for the exterior of your garment, and you don't want to deal with cutting out basically a whole nother dress and making it up. So if you do the boring part first, then you have that fun part to look forward to, and it's been really helpful for me in garment sewing, so I figured maybe it's time to do this in cross stitch. So this is the first time I've made a conscious effort to pick which part of the pattern am I really looking forward to stitching and saving it for last. Let you know if it works for this. My next whip for the week is Mirabilia's Sabrina, and this is what she looked like last week. And here's what she looks like today. Same thing. I have two pieces. I told you I have foam board for life. And picking so that you can see everything. Center for this is somewhere about here. And when I started it, and I have done this with every Mirabilia that I've ever done, I make a beeline to go for the face and do the face. And this is the fun part. And then you have miles of skirt, and I love the look of the skirt, but it's not the most fun to stitch. Well, the problem, and this has happened with me for every single one of these projects, once I get done with the fun part, I don't want to do the rest of this. So, it's slogging down here. Anyway, last week I had said I was in kind of a freak out when I realized that I really needed to have this pretty much functionally all stitched up by December 1st. I kind of forgot that Thanksgiving this year is super early. It is, I believe, yes, it is the earliest that it can occur in the month of November. So December 1st is still another week and a half out. I didn't really need to freak out too badly, given that in the last week, I have been doing pretty much, if I am not knitting because my daughter's in the room, I'm working on this. And so I have filled in a fair chunk. Like, ooh, we're down to hemline here. And I have just, again, moving from the left side of the project to the right side, I'm just bringing it down here as I fill, and each of these sections kind of encourages you, like this white with its attendant colors around it, or one chunk, and then there's this one. Well, when I get down here, I'm filling in the ribbon as I go across. It gives me something different to do, and I'm already starting to see that end in sight of filling in all the beading, and there's a lot of Krynic that goes in these flowers. I've never used Krynic before, so this will be exciting. I have it. It's been sitting in my stash for 3 years now, but I've been terrified of it. I'm saving it for last, if only because I don't know how well it's going to react to getting crunched by the hoop, so I figured that might be a reason to at least get all the DMC done first. Then the Krynic, then the beading, gonna go bottom up, wash, and then the Karen water lilies, and we'll be done, hopefully, in December. I can do this. I think. No, I say that. I say I think. But last week I was in freak out mode. This week I'm in the, you know, these guys weren't here. Not last week. All of this. Like, I filled all this in the last day. I don't know. I'm thinking really all I have left is right here, and it curves, and I'll be good. Then it'll just be how fast can I do all the beading. I know how fast I stitch. I do not know how fast I bead. That'll be fun. But anyway, I'm happy with her progress, and I'm really looking forward to having her done, because I cannot do any other projects until I get started. Until I get finished with her. And I really want to start things, like so many things. That's, I guess, the best part though. It's Thanksgiving, which means it's almost Christmas, which means it's almost a new year, and I am starting to put together the plans of, this is what I want to get done on, say, Winter Kiss, which I didn't touch this week, but what do I want to do with my Haid? Like, do I want to go for page finish, multiple page finishes over the course of next year? Starting a new Mirabilia. Autumn Queen is dying to be done. She's my least favorite of the ones I have left, which in my group I'm kind of including Royal Holiday. So I have Winter Queen, Autumn Queen, and Royal Holiday left for my seasonals, and Autumn is my least favorite, so we're gonna do her first. Also, I started with Spring, finished during the summer, so then I was like, oh, which one I'll do next? I'll start the one in that time while I finish Summer Queen in the autumn, so Autumn Queen is next. Okay, no real rhyme or reason. I'm making this up as I go along. It's cool. But she is the one I want to do next year. What kind of smaller projects do I want to do? Is there any sort of small, finish a part every month so that I have finished products at the end of the year? I don't know. Still thinking this through, but it is something that I'm starting to look very much forward to. What am I doing in 2019? Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye!